Hello, I'm Bernard Hickey from interest.co.nz and welcome to 90 at 9, brought to you in association with the BNZ. This is your morning briefing where you get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, starting now with news that the French President Nicolas Sarkozy has agreed to a German plan to send the Greeks to the IMF. Until now, the Eurozone's been planning a bailout of Greece amongst itself, but the Germans have said no, and now the French have agreed. This means the euro is weakening sharply overnight. The New Zealand dollar rose to a fresh 2-year high versus the euro, and the New Zealand dollar on the trade weighted index, that's the basket of currencies that we trade with mostly, is up also quite sharply to a 3-month high of 66. We're at a record high versus the pound and a 2-month high versus the yen, quite a rise against the yen overnight. So that's bad news for our exporters. Meanwhile, also overnight, US bond yields rose very sharply. The bond vigilantes are back with a vengeance, complaining about rising budget deficits all around the developed world, and in particular in the US, where that budget deficit is frankly out of control. The 10-year bond yield in the States rose to 3.9%. It's up from 3.6% earlier this week, after the US Treasury sold $118 billion worth of fresh debt in the last week. Interest rates are rising all around the world, particularly long-term interest rates, as fears grow about whether governments can repay all the debt that they took on from the private sector in 2008-2009 to deal with the financial crisis. Certainly the bond rally we've seen over the last 3 years is over. Financial markets should brace for trouble. I'm Bernard Hickey. That was 90 at 9, brought to you in association with the BNZ.